got like, I think 25 to 50 questions for each chapter, and also the answers. So, students can review, do the do after each chapter, review, understand, then do the questions here, and then come back and do the chapter test, and can also review the answers. The answers and the justification is also a part of this booklet. There is also a process chart which has got all the key concepts, and students learn how to by heart it. And this is all a part of the process. So you will see more details in the faculty back office. I'll not take you through more details, but you need to understand that this again is a very well put document. If you know this well, and we know it, you can answer up to 60 questions in the exam, 60% of the questions in the exam. So that's how important this is, and we have put in so much effort to develop this. So it's not just a study material, but the amount of effort that's gone to create it. Another point that I want to mention is we don't just believe in you understanding the concept and by hearting those. We believe it has to be an experiential learning. So what we have done is we have taken case studies and put it for each and every chapter. So let's have a look at this, for example. Let's start with scope. So that's page 45, right? So it says, if you read the case study, it says you are the project manager of a construction company and you are working on a project to construct a 3-story building. Now, it's a very simple case study. Everyone can understand it. But each and every tool that you see here, and all the, we teach the theory, but then, concepts are related to this particular case study. Students actually discuss it and start understanding it. Let me, I'll not take you through the details, but when you read through, you will understand it. Let me take you through, for example, just the diagrams to give you a feel for how this is working. So if you look at this diagram on page 52, right, you would see that, you are creating the building, then the first floor, second floor, which is the control account, then you know what a planning package is, which is electrical, plumbing, and then you know what a work package is. And if in work package 1.1.1.1 is the lay cables, so they know that this is at the work package level. So it's very clear, and then they can see exactly how the work breakdown structure dictionary looks like, WBX dictionary. So this is how it looks like. It's there on the next page. And then we take it all the way through, let's say, time. So let me just show you, for example, how time looks like. So do you see that 1.1.1.1 was lay cables? That was the work package. Now the first thing in work, we break it up into activities. So do you see these 4 activities? And we mentioned what dependencies, which these are activities, are dependencies. So we're breaking it down. The first is we're defining the activities. Next, what do? We go and sequence them. Do you see the sequencing now? So that happens in the sequence activities for the same case study. And what happens is students just work as teams. Tell them, why don't you sequence it yourself? They do it and then they see it here. So that helps them understand this concept so much better. Then, they go to, okay, let me just turn a few pages here. Again, do you see this? It's talking of estimate activity durations. Again, this is related to the case study, which is, this is page 70, right? And then if you turn to page 73, you could see how the activities actually are used to determine the critical path, and all the calculations for the critical path and develop schedule are related to this particular example. Again, very easy, but students get it, right? So, and there's additional examples here. There's another example to work through. If we talk about, let's say, cost, again, for a student, it's very important. This is a big chapter, very complex chapter, because this involves a lot of math. People find it very difficult to understand concepts related to earned value, for example. Now, I'll just show you how we teach earned value. This again is just a case study. So, and the case study says, if we look at page 88, it says we have to develop a website with 4,000 web pages. Estimated cost of completing is 400,000. Timeline is 12 months. So, after 6 months, 300,000 has been spent. Work completed is 1,000 web pages, and they do the whole thing on page 89. So there's a lot of calculations. They use this simple case study. They draw an S curve. and then they work through that whole problem. They really understand it, right? So do you see the next 3 pages are relating to this case study? And then if they're not sure, we ask them to review this, and then again in page 92 we take them to another case study, which is related to a stadium being constructed. If they're not sure, and after this, the answers are there on page 93. So they really understand this concept through simple examples. So pretty much every chapter is taught through examples like this. Let me take you through, let's say, risk management. Again, a huge chapter, but again, it's not just theory. Here the case study, if you look at it, this is page 149. It talks about the case study is of upgrading all the company's desktops to a new operating system. So, that's page 149, right? And if you turn to the next page, page 150, you see the RBS for that, risk breakdown structure for that, right? So we are breaking it into technical, project management, vendor management, and finance. And then what happens is the teams actually break into 4 separate teams, and they actually work on trying to identify risks for this risk breakdown structure. It's very interesting because they get up, work around, solve this problem, and you see the risk breakdown structure already created in page 152, right? So, and then what we say is, okay, this is how a risk breakdown structure looks like. Let's take only the technical risks, right? So these are the 5 technical risks. We take the technical risks and then walk them through the remainder. We explain the technical risks a little bit in detail in the next page, 153. But then, we walk them through all the stuff. So the SWOT analysis, for example, if you look at it, and I'm just showing the diagrams because, they're more illustrative. Page 154, it again relates to the case study. So students draw it out and understand how the SWOT is going to look for this case study. If you take them through the P&I matrix on page 156, again this is relating to probability and impact calculations for the same 5 risks. So they're really trying to work as teams and find it out and apply the theory that they learned. It continues all the way through, like even when it comes to risk response planning. So if it comes to risk response planning, if you look at page 161 and 162, this is where all the concepts of risk response planning are explained. And then what we ask the students to do is, why don't you take take like 15 minutes and understand this, and then attempt this as a group, attempt the next case study as a group. And this says some risk response strategies on page 163. Some risk response strategy we take to handle the risks in the case study are as follows. And then, for example, the first one is avoid risk response strategy. So we tell the whole situation, and they figure out what risk response strategy it is. Then the next one is transfer. So, they're working in groups, using case studies, and actually using the theory in a practical application of the case studies to come up with, and it's totally experiential learning that's happening here. And the good thing here is, from a faculty point of view, it can be an average faculty and can deliver amazingly great classes using the case studies that are already built. Plus, it's a very scalable system, so it's not an expert teacher dependent at all times. It's more around, you are even if you are an average teacher, because of the case studies, because of the highlighting, because of you telling them what's important, what is not, and you having a great faculty workbook to work with, you can teach really great classes. As a training provider, you can actually hire faculty very easily using this system, and it need not be totally dependent on you only. When we talk about planned procurement management, again, this is again a very interesting chapter where actually we divide into 2 separate teams, a buyer team and a seller team, and those 2 teams actually fight it out, pretty much negotiate with each other, and really learn the concepts using the case study that we have defined here. So the key point here is the quality of the study material is really good. I would challenge you to find a comma or a full stop wrong here. It's really that good, and it's all experiential learning. It's scalable because the same case studies examples are used across. We will spend a lot of time and highlight understand what are the important concepts, get it highlighted. Next time, the next version comes out, we will do all that effort ourselves. From your side, you just have to take it and teach. So it's very easy for you, right? Other than this, there's a final test book for the last day of the class, right? So, so this is the final test questions, and pretty much everything that you need to teach the class is already available to you. So this is the classroom. Let me actually take you through the online and just give you a feel for how this looks. Okay, I got this. So where do I go?
Here only you can open a new tab.
Okay, where was that one?
This black first tab.
So let me just log into just a free test account which we just created, and I will just show you some interesting stuff that is there. So oh, you've got all this. Where's the free test? I don't know. Okay, let me just take you through. Where's the free test?
Use another one. I have got the same thing in my personal ID as well. So
This is supratik@gmail.com.